All right, Super Sleuths. Today we're going to review 221B Baker Street. Let's check it out. Setup for the game is so easy. You just basically put out this board here, give each person a badge, which is basically a lock where they can lock rooms from other players, and of course you give them one skeleton key. Now these I haven't torn out yet, but they're the cheap little tear off flimsy, very flimsy cardboard, but that's the only thing cheap in the game. Anyway, these locks, after you enter a room, you can lock it for other players. Players would need a skeleton key to unlock it. You can always grab more locks at Scotland Yard or more skeleton keys at the locksmith. But again, everyone would start with one of each of those. They would also pick one of these beautiful pewter pawns. You have the violin, the pistol, of course the hat, the famous hat there, the magnifying glass, the pipe, which does not stand up very well, but it is cool, and of course the lantern. And all the players who are playing are going to start right here on 221B Baker Street, and they're going to be going around town trying to solve a mystery. Now, this is just half of the stack of mystery cards this game comes with. You're going to choose one, read off the front, read off what the mystery is and what you have to solve. Sometimes it's a murder, sometimes it's a theft or something, and you have to unravel the case. And what you're doing is you're just rolling this die and you're just moving around the board like you would, trying to get into the entrances to each one of these spots and do some interviewing. You're going to use this clue and solution book to look up whatever case number, whatever clue number where you're at, and it will give you a clue. Maybe some of these places will not have clues. Sometimes it gives you a good idea of where you should go first, but you may want to go to other places and check it out. As you see here, you can go through the board fairly quickly. Here you can go through and move across the bridge through here. You move through the park through here to move around the board. If you hit on the carriage depot, on your next turn it will take you to any other spot on the board that you want. So it's fairly easy to get around the board, and you're going around collecting clues. And once you figure out who the killer is, or who the person was, who the culprit was, what their motive was, then you have to race to get back home. When you get back to your home on 221B Baker Street, then you announce who you think did it and why they done it, or whatever the situation is here, and then you will look up the solution by yourself and read it silently. If you are correct, you may read it out loud and brag to all your friends. If you got it wrong, then you are a loser, and all your friends will laugh at you as they go ahead and try to figure out who the killer was. Now, of course, whoever figures out who the killer was is the winner of the game, but to add on a little bit of that, they give a little ranking here. If it took you 14 clues, you're a Watson, all the way up to if it took you 1 to 5 clues, you're a master detective, and you probably cheated too. But anyway, that is how the game goes, and that is 221B Baker Street. Final thoughts on the game. What do I think about it? Folks, you know I love me some Sherlock Holmes, okay? So when I saw this game on Sherlock Holmes, like, this looks interesting. Now, this is the special edition, which has over 200 cases in it. You'll never get bored. Even if you were to make it through all 200, you have to go back to the first one and play it over again, because you probably wouldn't remember it. So gameplay on this is, I would say, almost infinite. And the pieces look nice. Those little lock keys and the badges look awful. They're cheap little paper. Right now, there's really no need to lock and unlock places. We haven't really seen a need for that, so we don't even play with those. Now, you can. I'm sure there's some strategy there, but everyone has a key. Everyone has one lock. Eventually, it'll all even out. I don't know why you'd even bother going to the locksmith or the Scotland Yard unless you're there quizzing them for solutions. Why you would go to each one to get that, pick that up, just to lock another door, doesn't make any sense. But so for me, that aspect of the game, not really big on. The other stuff, the game solving, at first it took me a while to get used to it. My wife figured it out very quickly. I thought they were just real clues. And it's real clues mixed with like a crossword puzzle, like words that sound like something. And I can't think of an example right now without spoiling one of the mysteries. But my wife figured it out. Like, oh, it's talking about this. I thought it actually gave me a real clue. It was giving me a sounds like this. And she thought it through and figured out the how, and she solved the murder mystery. I said, how did you know that? And she showed me what she did. It's basically just playing, it gives you crossword puzzle clues, and you've got it, some dealing with the crime, some just trying to give you a hint and get you to say actually what the alibi or motive was. And when I figured that out, I was like, aha. And then I started playing it, started getting better at it. I did get the clues in I got 5 clues and solved the mystery. I did get the master detective. It is really hard to get that. I just happened to go to the right places to where I knew exactly who it was. I did go off a little bit of a guess though, because I had it down to 2 suspects, and I guessed right, and it was awesome. It's an awesome feeling. There is not much else besides that. Just rolling, moving, going to different places, and trying to solve the clues. Be the first one to solve the clues. It's a very simple game. This game, if I recall, was not much on Amazon at the time I got it. That's why I bought it. I hemmed and hawed whether I should get it or not. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to get it because I love Sherlock Holmes. I love the game. My wife and I have played through, I think, 6 scenarios right now. And it is so much fun. This is a game I'd even bring out to my board game group. Again, not that much. You're basically just trying to solve a puzzle. So if you're into puzzle solving, really, and you like Sherlock, like this guy, this game is well worth your time. If you're into more strategy games and you don't really care about Sherlock, you should go somewhere else. But for me, I do love this. It has, if you know, there was an old game by the same name, and they came up with several expansions for it, which were just case scenarios. This has all those, plus 20 new ones. So this is the ultimate set collector edition, which I would definitely recommend. All right, gamers, that's all the time for now. Until next time, elementary, my dear gamers, game on.